Hey, it's Mariah, and today I have my first ever comic talk. I decided to call these talks instead of reviews since I'm fairly new to collecting comics. Like, I have a small stash, I wouldn't even call it a collection. My exposure to superheroes started in the late 90s with those great animated series like Spider-Man and Batman, and I've loved them ever since, but I never really got into reading comic books until recently, so I'm definitely no authority on them. I do, however, like to think that I know a bit about story and storytelling, so I'm excited to kick this series off with a book that DC released just this year. Cyborg. Cyborg is written by David Walker, penciled by Ivan Reis, inked by Joe Prado, and colored by Adriano Lucas. Cyborg / Victor Stone is a character with a long-standing history. I first came to know him through the Teen Titans animated series, but he's been in the comics for a very long time. In DC's New 52, he's a founding member of the Justice League, and this is his first ever self-titled solo comic. I've always thought that Cyborg was a fascinating character because he can't have a secret identity. Victor Stone and Cyborg are the same because those two sides of his identity are physically and inextricably connected. In this book, we definitely see that as a theme and as a struggle for Vic. In the first issue, we're basically given a summary of how he came to be what he is today, and we're made to understand that his father played a large role in that. Silas Stone is not a very heartwarming guy. He definitely takes a bigger interest in Cyborg than he does in Victor. And Victor tells us that my father saved my life by turning me into the greatest experiment of his career. Victor's issues with his unfeeling father are definitely the result of this theme of the dichotomy of his identity into Cyborg and Victor, or man and machine. And this theme comes up a lot in the first two issues, like so much so that I actually wish that they would pull back with it a bit and not be quite as heavy-hitting. This issue of identity looks like it'll also come up with the villains in the story, the Techno-Sapiens, who, if you look at the cover of the second issue, looks so much like Cyborg, like design-wise. Everything's kind of blue, everything looks like kind of organic like he does, and that seems like it's gonna be really interesting. We don't have quite a clear understanding of these villains yet, but I can say that just in like their presentation alone, that this story is definitely gonna have a sci-fi feel to it, which I'm really excited about. In the story so far, Victor himself is shown to be a warm and charismatic guy who's just trying to figure out what's going on with him because his cybernetics does look a lot different than it did before. If you remember what he looked like in Teen Titans, if you remember what he looked like in Justice League, and he's been rebuilt previously, and something else has happened this time around when he's actually died and come back, and he's trying to figure out how that's happened to him. There's also another storyline going on which is going to deal with the differences between Cyborg and his advanced cybernetics and then the everyday person on the street with their everyday prosthetic. And some of those people want the advanced stuff, so it looks like they're going to black market venues and getting kind of backdoor operations to get the same kind of advanced tech that he has. Personally, I'm really excited to see how all these different elements come together and what else they introduce in the story. Cyborg issue 3 comes out at the end of the month, so I'll definitely be picking that up, and I recommend that you check this series out and then we can talk about it. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.